Welcome into another video. This is the second part of my mock draft 1.0. If you are joining me from number 1 through 16, thanks for joining. If not, and you are coming along because your team has a pick in 17 through 32, welcome in. I will go ahead and actually run through 1 through 16 with you extremely fast here. We went Mendoza, Arvell Reese to the Jets. We did no trades. So Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders, Arvell Reese to the Jets, David Bailey to the Cardinals, Ruben Bain Jr. to the Titans, Sonny Styles to the Giants, Francis Mauigoa to the Browns, Cardinal Tate to the Commanders, Jeremiah Love to the Saints, Spencer Fano to the Chiefs at 9, Caleb Downs to the Bengals at 10, Mansour Lane to the Dolphins, Jermod McCoy to the Cowboys at 12, Mekhi Lemon to the Rams at 13, Caleb Banks to the Ravens at 14, Keldrick Falk to the Bucks at 15, and the Jets doubling down on defense with Avian Terrell to wrap up 1 through 16. Let's go ahead and get into 17 through 32, kicking it off with the Detroit Lions at 17, and I have them taking offensive tackle out of Georgia, Monroe Freeling. You know, that was their major weakness in 2025, and it was the offensive line. Whether Taylor Decker is coming back or not, this still needs to be addressed. At the absolute worst, this combine freak and this combine phenomenon in Monroe Freeling is sitting and learning for a year. Maybe you can kick him inside with Decker potentially retiring next year and then kicking him back outside. Regardless, this is potentially just a developmental year for a very young, very raw, but extremely athletic and extremely large prospect who is very good in pass pro. I mean, his speed, his athleticism really help him kick outside. This is a guy who could go as a top 10 pick. Think about like these athletic guys who really jump up the ranks. This is the guy who very well could be a top 10 pick in Monroe Freeling. Right now, I have him going at 17. I don't know if the combine boosted him up that much, but great pick for the Detroit Lions. And now their NFC North counterpart, the Minnesota Vikings. I have them going with the safety out of Oregon, Dylan Thieneman. And Brian Flores probably has to be licking his chops about this, right? They come away with this guy, 4'3", 40, perfect build, like 6 foot, 200 something pounds, 300 tackles, 8 interceptions in 3 years at Oregon. Really good production, really fast player, can pop mother effers in the mouth. It sounds like a Brian Flores guy to me. It really does. I think this is a match made in heaven. I think this would be a really good selection for the Minnesota Vikings. I love this pick. Let's go ahead and get into number 19 with the Carolina Panthers, and I have them going with edge rusher out of Miami, Akeem Mesidor. A big year of growth for the Carolina Panthers in 2025, hosting a playoff game, which is something that nobody saw them doing in 2025, but still only have 30 sacks. Nick Scourton didn't make a massive impact in year one. You got to still address a need. It is a massive need. You need an edge rusher. Go get one. Go get one in Mesidor. This guy's got a very high motor, really good leader, impact player, one at a high level. I think that, you know, Miami was so good because of their trenches. This is one of their key guys. Ruben Bain was obviously on the other side of him, but I think that they benefited more from each other than it was just Mesidor benefiting off of Bain. Like, I think they're both not obviously equally as good because Mesidor would be going much higher, but there's a chance Mesidor jumps up these ranks over the next few weeks. There is. I haven't locked in any of my selections and who I have ranked, but Mesidor is a freak. He's got a very high motor. We know that. I think he'll be a good impact player for the Carolina Panthers, which is something they really need. Dallas Cowboys, second pick of the draft. I do have them going CJ Allen. I feel like Cowboy fans are going to kill me because they come away with Jermod McCoy in the first video at cornerback, and they come away with a linebacker. They don't come away with an edge rusher in this one, but they need a leader. They need a leader there. I know that, you know, Quentin Williams is there, but they need a true leader. CJ Allen is that guy. Team captain. I think, you know, he's more instinctual, and he benefits more off of that than he does off of this rare athleticism. He's not insanely athletic, but very good, smart, high IQ football player who can be that captain for this defense that they so very much need. You get Jermod McCoy, you get your team captain defensively. I really think that this is the way that they go. They very well could go edge rusher, like they could. I'm just saying, I think that this is what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do. Don't kill me over this one. That's just my opinion. Number 21, Pittsburgh Steelers. I do have them going wide receiver and taking Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. They need one. They need a wide receiver. DK Metcalf was good, but DK Metcalf has not been the DK Metcalf of old, really, as of late. They need a potential true number one, and this is the guy, potentially. Jordan Tyson. Really like this guy. You know, he's got the perfect, like, wide receiver build in my eyes. Like 6'2", 200. It just seems like perfect. Like, if you're like 6 foot, 200 pounds, or 6'2", 200 pounds, like right in that mix, you're not too tall, but you're a big-bodied boy. Like, I think that's like my perfect build. Jordan Tyson has that perfect build. Very reliable pass catcher. I think this is going to be a great selection for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Will Howard throwing them the ball, they need another guy in there because Calvin Austin, talented, just hasn't taken that next step. Same thing with Roman Wilson, hasn't taken that next step. They need a guy. Go get a guy. I think Jordan Tyson is that guy. Moving on to the Los Angeles Chargers. I have them going offensive guard, Olavide Ione, which is, I feel like, the easiest. Like, throw it up in the air. They need a guy who can protect on the inside. That is Ione. Like, they need that. You're going to get Slater back. You're going to get Alt back. The trenches. I mean, Justin Herbert got wrecked. And he continues to get wrecked. He gets wrecked year after year after year. And Suit's putting up, like, Andrew Luck numbers when it comes to sacks. Please do something about your offensive line. Go Ione. Is a really good selection. Could see them taking Caden Proctor, kicking him inside. But Ione is like a true built guard. I think that is where they go. Moving on to 23. People keep saying, who's going to replace A.J. Brown if they trade him? Who said it needs to be a receiver? Kenyon Sadiq is the guy who will be doing that. This is an insane athlete. An insane athlete. 4.3 speed. Don't see that often. You know, he's a little bit slender for a tight end. This is a guy who can be an impact player day one. 43-inch vertical, 4.39 speed. Like, you don't see that often from a tight end. This could be an impact weapon. You can line him up on the line of scrimmage, and he's, like, physical enough where he can burst into a linebacker's chest, get off of him quickly. He's fast. Like, he's not your prototypical tight end, but he is a weapon in its own. And I feel like with Dallas Goedert on his way out, they maybe need to get another bulky tight end in there as well. But with Goddard on his way out, potentially A.J. Brown on his way out, Kenyon City could be a perfect fit. Him and Devonta Smith and Saquon Barkley. That right there is still a very good room. And I like that a lot. And then get another solid tight end in there. The 12-man you'll be running with that. Woo! That's scary. It's very scary. Moving on to the Cleveland Browns. And we are going with wide receiver Denzel Boston. And, you know, I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is the guy or not. Talked about this in my first video. I'd probably say that he's not. But if you want to find out, getting him a brand new offensive tackle in the top 10 and a brand new wide receiver in the first round as well is a really good way to find out. That is a really good way to find out. If Todd Monken wants to know if he's the guy, this is the way to go. And you've got a decent running back room there. You've got Harold Fan in there, David Njoku there. Njoku may be on his way out. We don't know. But very fluid player in Denzel Boston. Big-bodied boy. Fucking brick hands, which is what they need because these guys drop the ball a lot in Cleveland right now. They need a guy with some sturdy hands. That's Denzel Boston. He becomes their new wide receiver one there. And that's what they need to figure out if Shedeur Sanders is the guy. And Denzel Boston will help them do that. My Chicago Bears, finally, so used to doing all these damn mock drafts, and I'm picking in the top 10 with my Bears. Look at this. Had to wait until 25. I'm going with Peter Woods out of Clemson. He's one of the guys who was supposed to be a top pick in the draft this year, back in August of 2025. But him, along with most of Clemson, slumped hard, really hard. If Peter Woods is, you know, that 2024 guy, the Bears get a really good player here. If he's that 2025 guy, they get a solid player here. You know, I still think he's got a lot of traits and athleticism. He's young. He's a little bit more raw, but he is a freak. He's a freak athlete, and the Bears need that on the interior. A lot of people want them to go edge, and I do think that's understandable. But Montez Sweat and Austin Booker's not terrible. You still could go sign an edge in free agency. Rumors of Max Crosby getting traded. Highly unlikely, but still rumors. I have them going Peter Woods right now. That very well could change. They could go safety. They very well could go Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. They could go edge rusher. They could go Cassius Howell. More than likely TJ Parker here. He's a little bit taller. Cassius Howell a little bit smaller. But yeah, I think that I think they're going Peter Woods. Here we go. Buffalo Bills. I have them going wide receiver KC Concepcion. Do I think that's maybe the best player available at 26 right here, right now? No, I don't. But I do think that we're at the point now where they have to draft a receiver or people are going to get hurt for not taking one and getting Josh Allen some weapons. I think they go Concepcion, very, very fast guy, has an insane burst off the line of scrimmage, very reliable, very shifty after the catch. I don't know if this is the absolute must pick for them, but it does seem like that. Like there's a lot of good players still here available that would maybe help benefit them more and like seem more like a guarantee, like higher floor. But Concepcion does have a high ceiling to, be an impact wide receiver on this team. Moving on to 27 for the San Francisco 49ers. I have them going Caden Proctor, tackle out of Alabama. This is a guy who can move inside, can be kicked outside after 1 year. Could be playing this year, though. You don't know what's going on with the Trent Williams situation. Seems like the two sides are really kind of arguing and beefing right now. Caden Proctor helps fill that role. Nothing wrong with keeping your trenches up, built up. That's how good teams win year after year after year. Caden Proctor would be a very smart pick. We're going back-to-back trenches here. Houston Texans selecting Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle out of Utah, the other tackle out of Utah. And Houston just needs to keep chipping away as well at this offensive line because CJ Stroud is really bad under pressure. I feel like we've seen that. Granted, two really tough defenses in the playoffs, but I mean, Steelers isn't that tough. And he really struggled against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs, but even worse against the New England Patriots. Like, it came to the point where it's like, are they going to pay him? Are they going to trade him? Like, that's how rough it was in the playoffs. And he hasn't looked the same since he was a rookie. And it's because he's constantly under duress. They need to just keep chipping away at offensive line. It is an absolute must. Second pick here for the Los Angeles Rams. I finally have them addressing that secondary, which I think they would have done at 13 if McCoy and Delane did not just go there. But I have them addressing that secondary now with Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I mean, they could use him as a presence on that back end. Really good on the front end, really good on the offensive side of the ball. They're not terrible on the back end, but this is Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's not the greatest athlete, but such a smart player. Really good downhill. Plays extremely physical. Really like his tape out of Toledo. I know it's just some action, but I really like his tape. And I think this is a really good pick. This could be Ty Simpson. I think they go safety, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. A mouthful, man. A mouthful out of Toledo at 29. Denver Broncos, one of the deepest rosters in the NFL. I had a really tough time deciding where they're going to go. Why not boost the pass rush? You get a phenomenal pass rush this year, but why not boost it up just a little bit more? If somebody like maybe Concepcion falls here, I could see them maybe going there. Sadiq won't be available, but you never know. I really don't know what they do, so I just had them taking TJ Parker. I really just had them taking TJ Parker. Like, why not boost up the pass rush? Like, that's what good teams do. You keep the trenches full. Keep the trenches full. Go TJ Parker. He had insane production in 2024. Like I said, once again, these Clemson guys, insane production in 2024, really had a bad year in 2025. But if he can get back to that 2024 form, Denver's got a dog. They've got a dog. I really like it. On the other side, Nick Benito, rotate in TJ Parker. I really like that pick. Cassius Howell for the New England Patriots, the runner-up in the Super Bowl. Cassius Howell, another very high productive player. Really small arms, really doesn't fit that build that you would really want in an edge rusher, but 25 sacks over the last 3 years, 11 and a half in this year alone. The smaller frame is concerning, but the dude's got a bag on him. He knows how to sack a quarterback, and I really think that the runner-up in the Super Bowl, they could benefit from something like that. How about the Super Bowl champs, though? Where do you guys think they go? I think it's a clear one here. They're going cornerback, and I got them taking Colton Hood. There we go. You can see the full draft class here. I have them taking Colton Hood. You know, his physicality, so clear on tape. It's exactly what you think when you're thinking about the Seattle Seahawks defense right now. Even last 10 years with the Legion of Boom and everything, Colton Hood has that physicality. He maybe doesn't have the size that these prototypical Seahawks cornerbacks are required to have, but he has the physicality of it. Don't know what's going on with Tariq Woolen. His status in the future of being a Seahawk is up in the air. Colton Hood could fill in right away. Trenches, second level guys. I mean, the cornerbacks, very depth position. Edge rushers, depth position. Wide receivers, depth position. These loaded rosters, these Super Bowl winning rosters, they can afford to just keep taking guys. Who cares if Colton Hood doesn't even play this year? They just won a Super Bowl. Let him learn a little bit. Put on a little bit of weight. That's all that matters. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. If you don't like your team's pick, comment down below. Let's talk about it respectfully. We need competent ball talk. Competent ball talk. No garbage in my DMs. No garbage in my comments. Let's talk about this respectfully. If you love your team's pick, comment down below that you love your team's pick. Let's talk about it respectfully. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. Free agency content coming out this week. My top 10 offensive players on my top 10 offensive free agents, my top 10 defensive free agents coming out Thursday and Friday. I'll see you guys then. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.